Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds, in the studio, bundled up and warm. So, Chiefs need help on defense and anywhere. D-backs, front line, rushers, linebackers, take your pick. They could use the help. Now, there's a rumor kind of swirling around that they might go after Melvin Ingram from the Steelers. Definitely could help, especially with Hitchens down right now. I know Nick Bolton is having probably one of the best rookie seasons a linebackers had in a while. He's killing it for the Chiefs, and props to him for that. But they still could use some help, and you think this is a good move? You think they're going to do it?
I do not. I think they may do it, but I don't think it's a great move at all. I'll tell you why. First of all, Hitchens may be out for quite some time. He's certainly not going to play Monday night. He still has the elbow injury, and it's probably a nerve injury, and anybody who's ever cracked the nerve in your elbow knows that is not pleasant at all. And that's what's afflicting Anthony Hitchens, and he's the guy who calls the defensive signals. Okay, here's Melvin Ingram. He is with the Pittsburgh Steelers. What's interesting is the Chiefs went after him as a free agent. At least they courted him, had him in camp and all that sort of thing, and did not sign him. He instead signed with Pittsburgh. Guy's 32 years old, with the Chargers for so many years, star player, but he's lost a step or two. Has not been particularly effective with Pittsburgh. I think they'd be willing to salary dump the guy. I just don't think that would be a big help for. It's not going to hurt, but I don't think it would be a great help. It's not what the Chiefs are looking for. They're looking for some kind of young spark in there to really get them going. We've said it right from the get-go. Chris Jones out of position. He belongs on the other side of the line, and he is just more accustomed to playing there. He's very ineffective where he is right now at this position. I don't know why they changed him, what they thought was going to happen, but that's one of the keys. Jones can still play, although he's been slowed now. He has a groin injury. Frank Clark, you never know what you're going to get out of him. These guys, they need some help. Now, having said all that, I do think they're going to win on Monday night. The New York Giants, come on, they're not in the same ballpark with Kansas City, but by the same token, if they go after Ingram, they're grasping at straws. They've got to come up with something, an altogether different plan. They do have athletes on their team who can play. You've got to get them structured into playing the right sequence of football, and they're not at the moment.
Mahomes was on Rich's show from the NFL Network earlier this week, and they were talking about that, and it all comes down to execution. He said it himself. We got the talent. It's execution. And that's both sides of the ball. That's every player.
It's like John McKay of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in the 70s. What do you think about your team's execution? Yes, I'd be in favor of that.
I'd like to see some.
Great line.
Oh my God! The NFL is actually making us look like chumps because we used to talk so much trash about the Thursday night schedule, and oh my God, these games suck. But you know what? This season, bud, almost every week it's been, even the ones that we thought were going to be dumpers were great games. Tonight, you couldn't have asked for a better way to kick off this week of the NFL. You've got a team that's undefeated going against a team that's only lost one game. Who'd you put your chocolate chips on?
I put them on the Pack because I think the Cardinals are ready to come back to earth, which is not to say that they're a bad team. They're not. They're a very, very good team. And they can play. They're quick. They are quarterbacks so well. I just think, though, the time has come for them to taste the defeat somewhere along the line. And a mid-season defeat like this, they are 7-0, and they're playing very well. And the Packers, who are a future opponent for the Chiefs, also are quite a capable football team. Aaron Rodgers can do an awful lot of things. But by the same token, I do think Green Bay goes in and probably squeezes out a victory tonight. You know, I said the other day that I'm not really in favor of these Thursday night games, and I'm really still not. But Danon Hughes, who is on the broadcast team of the Chiefs and is on this station every week, did say the other day in an interview we were doing with him that he says it's not that big a deal because it's only once and then they get a break after that. So the players are accustomed to it. They can handle that sort of thing. I still wonder whether or not they can because 17 games, number one, and then to have some on Thursday night with a quick break or a very short break and then quick long break in between. I don't know whether it's a good thing, but he said it's not all that big a deal.
It does change the rhythm of things, though.
It does,
because
absolutely.
Especially you want that extra day, or you play Monday, and then you got a short week, and It does change things. They can say they're professionals all day, but it doesn't. They're sports, there's a rhythm to it, man. There's a rhythm to all of it. And if it gets you out of rhythm, sometimes bad things happen. But Chiefs needed an extra day off, and I'm glad they got it this week, especially after last Sunday. Let's flip to baseball. It was 26 years ago today. Atlanta shut down Cleveland 1-0. They won. I can't believe it. Now we've pushed the season so far back. We were ending the series at this point in 1995, but it was definitely history in the making, wasn't it?
It absolutely was when the Atlanta Braves beat the Cleveland Indians 1-0. Why was it history? Because the Atlanta Braves, with that victory, became the first and still only Major League Baseball team ever to win 3 World Series in 3 different cities. Can you name them, Mike?
Why you got to do that to me, Ned?
That's all right to know. I'll tell you what they are. Of course, before Atlanta, they were in Milwaukee. And, of course, they won World Series in Milwaukee as the Milwaukee Braves. Prior to that, they were in Boston.
I was going to say Boston.
Braves.
Yeah.
So they won in 48 in Boston,
yep.
Won in the 50s in Milwaukee, and then in the 90s in Atlanta. The only team ever to do that.
Well, they definitely have a storied history. It's funny when the Braves have to do throwback jerseys. It's like, which throwback? We go in Milwaukee, we go in Boston. It would be fitting if the Braves could have got a win because of, the historic win in 95, blah, 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 blah. But Game 2 didn't go their way.
No, it did not. The Houston Astros, Mike, they're a very, very good baseball team, which is not to denigrate Atlanta. Atlanta is too, but in my opinion, player for player, the Astros are the better ball club, and showed it last night. Now, you have Jose Altuve, who's an old pro. He played down here in the Texas League with the Corpus Christi Hooks. He's one of the star players on the Astros. Hit a double in the first inning and a home run in the 7th. Great. That's not how they won the game. They did it with small ball, and this old reporter loves it. It was a 4-run second inning, and of the 4 runs, 5 singles. Base hit here, base hit there, hitting against the shift, using their speed. They have a rookie on their team named Jose Siri, S-I-R-I, very much the same as the Google phone or hey Siri.
Yeah, no, that's Apple.
Oh, it's Apple.
Yeah, it's Apple.
Anyway, this guy Jose Siri, he's very quick. Came up with a team from the minor leagues in September. He scored on an errant play by Atlanta, which was most unusual. Bad throw to third base. Anyway, 4 runs in the second inning, all on 5 singles and some misplays. And that really was the catalyst to a 7-2 victory for the Houston Astros. So that series is now tied at 1 game apiece. Jose Urquidy, who is the Mexican pitcher who got the start last night, pitched very well, 5 innings, and then the Astros bullpen came in and finished it off. But it's a tie series now, 1 game apiece. Next 3 games, and there certainly will be 3 more games. It's a 1-1 series, best of 7, will be in Atlanta, and then if necessary, the final 2 come back to Houston again at Minute Maid Park. But yeah, we're all tied up now at 1-1.
So you're telling me you went to bed after the 3rd inning last night?
I saw very little of the game because we had an event last night.
Yeah.
It was quite memorable.
Yeah. Well, we'll get the next one in Atlanta. So you mentioned this yesterday. The Drury Lady Panthers have a tournament to kick off the season in Texas. And did I hear that right? They got an early morning tip-off?
They do. Tomorrow morning, they will start the season down in Canyon, Texas. That's the locale of West Texas A&M, which is one of the better women's teams in the country. This is a great tournament for Drury in which to open up. They'll play Southwestern Oklahoma, another very good team. They'll play them late tomorrow morning. Then they'll play the hostess team Saturday afternoon, early in the afternoon, and then come back to play the final game in this 3-game tournament on Sunday, late Sunday morning. And that final team is Central Missouri from Warrensburg, who was in the Final Four last year. It was almost a Drury versus Central Missouri national title game. Didn't turn out to be that way, but almost happened. Anyway, the Lady Panthers will play the Central Missouri State Jennies. That's what they call their team. Not the Lady Mules or anything like that. They're the Jennies, and they are very good. So this is a great way for Drury. Drury's better than most of these other teams. They're practically, if not, number 1 in the country. And that'll be a good test for them.
Those early morning tip-offs always blow my mind. These kids, that are used to staying up till 2 or 3 in the morning, having to get up and go play ball at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's kind of like me having to wake up at 4. You're not really awake until about 9. We've got the district playoffs in high school football kicking off tomorrow, and there's some pretty heated action there as well.
There really are some very, very, very good games. And these are, I'm glad you mentioned that, this is game number 10 on the schedule. All the teams are playing. This is the start of the state playoffs. Everybody plays. Half of them finish the season tomorrow night.
Yeah. It'll be the last game for a lot.
The way it works, I'm not laughing out of humor. It's just the way it is. If every team's going to play, half of them will lose tomorrow night, and half of them will have their season ending tomorrow night because it's win and go on, one and done for many of them. Some really big matchups. One of the big ones we're concentrating on is Nixa. Nixa has a terrific team. They are playing Lee's Summit West, and that's the team they played in the state quarterfinals last year and beat. And Nixa, Lee's Summit West team will come down here to Christian County for the second time in a year, and they'll have revenge on their mind. Can they get it done? Well, we'll find out.
Well, hopefully they can, and bring us some glory locally. Ned, you have a wonderful Thursday, and stay warm, my man.